Hello, 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 hello. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening. So, you're welcome to another episode of the Smart Parenting Conversations with Oluwatoyin Ogunkomi. And today, as usual, we have another interesting topic. While we wait for a few people to join, I'm just going to go straight into the introduction of our topic. And guess what? I won't be doing this alone today. So, what are we discussing today? One of the things we need to know as mothers, as parents, is that life is not us doing it alone. You know, life is not us being just the parent. But before I go into our topic, I'd like to appreciate everyone who is joining and those of you that might be watching the replay. Thank you so much that despite your busy schedule, despite the fact that today is a Saturday where you should be resting, you are here and you are here listening to me. Tonight's conversation is tagged Beyond the Strong Woman, and it's about nurturing the nurturer. I love that topic. Nurturing the nurturer. And I think this conversation is really, really long overdue. Why do I say so? A lot of women grew up hearing the fact that, oh, you have to be strong for your family. You have to be able to handle everything, suck it in, be brave, don't complain. A good woman keeps her home together. And over time, these messages have shaped the way women see themselves. And I want you to know that strength is not just defined by being able to carry everything, but strength is also being able to say, oh, I've had enough. I need to rest. I need to take care of myself. Strength is not just you carrying everything quietly. Strength is also trying to put yourself first, not just putting everybody first. And the truth is that even as you being a strong woman, strongest women, they're all still human. Meaning that there are times when they will get tired, there are times when they'll be overwhelmed, there are times when a strong woman would need support and need to rest and needs to be seen and tired. And one of the things I want parents to understand, especially mothers, is that you can't do it alone. You need that help. You need that support, right? And because you need help, you need support. That's why we're here today to have this conversation. Today, like I said, we're talking about beyond the strong woman, who is to nurture that woman that is nurturing everybody. What does a strong woman need to do? What does a mother need to support her mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? And that's why we are here today. Tonight, we're not just going to question your strength, but tonight we're going to expand our understanding about strength. We're going to look at strength. What really does it mean to be a strong woman? And we're also going to talk about a lot about self-awareness, your emotional well-being, and the ability to ask questions, the ability to ask for help when you need help. This webinar is meant for you to reflect. This place is meant to be like a honest place where you can speak about what you're going through. And tonight, I hope this conversation will help you to shift from the narrative of a strong woman who carries everybody and does not get support, to a strong woman who also needs support. And like I said when I started, I'm not going to be the only person here. I have a guest, a beautiful lady that I met in the course of my journey as a coach. So today we have a very, very interesting woman. I call her the helping practitioner, and she's known as Mrs. Ladi Felix. While I bring her in, I will also read out her bio while I bring her in. So just a minute. Hello, my sis. Hi, hi,
Hi,
hi. Good evening. You're
thank
welcome
you.
to Smart Parenting Conversations with Oluwatoyin Ogunkomi. I have these
Thank you so
conversations
much.
at
It's
least
a
twice
pleasure.
every month where we speak with
Wow.
parents and we speak with parents basically on how they can raise well balanced children and also how they can protect themselves. So thank you so much. So let me just do a brief introduction. Then we go straight into why we're here. We go straight into the question and answer. So Ladi Felix, she's a trained mental and emotional wellness coach. She's a counselor and a trainer. She helps singles, married individuals. She helps them to live a more balanced and emotionally healthy lives. Through her work, she supports singles, married individuals, and professionals in gaining clarity, resilience, and personal direction using integrative counseling and coaching approach. She brings over a decade of experience in people's management, process improvement, and behavioral development. Over the years, she has also built strong expertise in helping individuals navigate emotional challenges and life transition. She holds several international certifications, including the customer service certification, mental health first aid, emotional intelligence, anger management coaching, and life coaching. Her work blends practical life skills with emotional awareness to help people function more effectively in their personal and professional lives. She is also the director of Laugh Wellness Hub, and she hosts her signature online program, Navigating Life with Ladi Felix, where she guides participants in developing emotional strength, clarity, and purpose. Please, I want us to join me warmly as we welcome her and she shares her insights in today's conversation. So, Madam Ladi Felix, she says she's
Yeah,
popularly called P Pilaf,
yeah,
right? Pilaf.
yeah,
Yes, Pilaf.
yeah.
I like that. So we have people that have joined already. So we have Faith from Abuja. We have Magic Box, Party Box. Hello, ma'am. Thank you for joining. We have Faith. Wow, helping with practitioner. Yes, that's what she's known at. And yes, so as you're joining, we'd like you to also drop your comments and would also share your comments. So thank you so much for joining us. So my first
Thank
question
you.
is, who is a strong woman? What does it mean to be a strong woman? Let's start with that.
Yes. Thank you so much, Coach. Thank you for this platform, not just for me, but for everyone that will get to watch this. I feel is something that you are giving out. Sometimes you don't even know to what extent. But I mean, we've come to that time where we need to just create this awareness and
Yes,
keep creating it, because I mean the statistics are out there. A lot of people need this help. A lot of people need this help. So thank you
absolutely.
so much. I'm so
You're
delighted to be on
welcome.
this your platform, and
You're welcome,
I am
sis.
sure that I am also going to get value from our conversation. Okay, because I'm a woman, but I don't know if I'm a strong woman. So
Let's go. So since you're going to define who a
yeah,
strong woman is, maybe we would know who really
yeah.
is a strong woman.
So for me, there's this POV, point of view. For me,
Yeah.
I want to start or take it from the angle of a strong woman is a woman that is self-aware.
Hmm.
She's self-aware, she knows herself to the extent of she knows what she can carry and what she cannot carry. She knows her limits.
Hmm.
It's not about A strong woman is not about, like you stated in your introductory, it's not about, oh, I can carry the whole world, I can save the whole world. There's a woman I follow, and she normally will say something like, you are not El Shaddai, else you shall die. Strong woman is not someone that is out to save the whole world. A strong woman is someone that wants to save herself so that she can save the world. Do you understand?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
you're not just coming, you're not saying I want to save the world. No, you are starting from yourself to save the world. So because you can't give what you don't have. So a
Absolutely.
strong woman is a woman that is self-aware. She knows her purpose. She knows what she has been called to do. So she knows her area of concentration. She knows her limits. She's so self-aware that she appreciates who she is and what she can offer. So you see, I'm not coming from, oh, a strong woman is a woman that can carry 10 muscles, that
Hmm.
can do this, that can no. We don't see I don't see a strong woman from that perspective.
Hmm.
I see a woman that is strong from the perspective of self-awareness.
Hmm.
Self-awareness.
Thank you so much. At least we now all know
Yeah,
that being a strong woman is not someone that's carrying the whole world at her own expense.
yeah,
So you are aware of
yeah,
yourself, you're aware of your strengths, you're aware of your weaknesses, and you know when to stop and let other
yeah,
people support you. Thank you so much for
yeah,
that. So my next question
yeah.
is, so we're talking about maternal mental health. We're talking about mental,
Mhm.
and this month is the month for women. We started with the
Yeah,
International Women's Day. This weekend is
yeah.
Mother's Day and all that. So when we
Others,
talk about
yeah.
maternal mental health, what does it really mean, and why do you think
Okay,
it's not being discussed openly amongst mothers?
okay. So let's start with maternal mental health. So just like the name maternal means womanhood when it has to do with womanhood. So we're talking about the emotional, the psychological, and the social well-being of a mother. And the motherhood we are talking about now, we take it from the point of conception. So from the moment you conceive, you go through the process, you give birth, and you start to mother, you start to take care of your child or children, you are on a journey. So how you are able to cope through that journey, both emotionally, psychologically, and socially, is what we call maternal mental health. Okay? Because a lot of people during this process lose themselves. A lot of people during this process, you know, get into some form of mental disorders that I'm sure we're going to talk about, that
Mm-hmm.
some of them are unable to come out from. They've not even come out from it. They are still dealing with it. It's a journey. It's a journey into an unknown. When you conceive, especially for those that are giving birth for the first time or conceiving for the first time, I'm sure we have new moms here in the
Yeah.
platform or that will watch this. It's a journey that you have never been to. You've not been there. So it's like me now, I've not been to, let's say, India, and then I have to
Mm-hmm.
wake up one morning and it's expedient for me to travel to India. So it's a journey I've not been to. Of course, I'm going to start to ask myself, am I sure I can cope in India? Can I speak their language? Do I know how to dress in India? What of the air flight? Am I sure I'm ready? Is my visa? So there's a lot of things that goes on in preparing for motherhood. So all those emotional things that you go through, and even socially and even psychologically, all those journey, those are what we put together and we say maternal health. You understand? Maternal mental health. And the second part you talk about is that, like I said, for this journey, some people cope very well and some people don't cope very well. So it's about coping. It's about coping. Some people cope very well, and that's why you see some women that, even though I don't judge people on the physical, but you see people that have given birth to, like me now, I've given birth to 3 children. And I see a lot of people that still look at me and say, oh, you look good. And I say, is it by the physical? You are judging by the
Mm-hmm.
physical. Uh-huh.
Yes, it's
I say, you don't judge
psychological.
by the physical.
Hmm.
Yes. Have you sat down with me? Have we had a conversation? Before you can know if oh, you look good, your 3 children, it doesn't show that you have 3 children and all that. So it goes beyond that. It goes beyond the physical appearance. And like you say, why is it that we often don't talk about it? Just like normal mental health that we are all advocates of, like you say, I met you in a mental health certification class. We are now advocates. We are out there telling people that the same way you put energy in physical health, let's put the same energy in mental health, because we have a lot of casualties too of mental health disorders. This same maternal health, can result to disorders like depression, anxiety, PTSD. Some people think that, oh, PTSD, what's PTSD? PTSD is, some people's childbirth can be so traumatic.
Traumatic,
I have a,
yeah.
yes, I had a sister that when she was giving birth, her first child, she almost got blind.
Hmm.
The moment she brought out, the moment the child came out, she couldn't see again. They
Wow.
brought the child to her and they were asking her, is it a boy and a girl? And she said, I can't see. And the nurses were confused. What do you mean you can't see? Say, I can't see. Everything became blood. At that moment, in fact, that changed her whole whatever. Somebody that was not using glasses, after childbirth, she was not using glasses.
Hmm.
You understand? So a lot of things changed for her. So it's a lot of things. It's a lot of disorder can happen during maternal health journey, and then you say, okay, why is it that people don't talk about it? Well,
About
it's the
it,
same
yeah.
thing for mental health. Yes, it's the same thing for mental health. Anything that has to do with disorder, people run away from it. People don't want to
Hmm.
discuss it. The society does not accept it. Like, this concept of strong woman too. Everybody think that, oh, your mother gave birth to 12. You should be able to do it now. What is wrong with you? Is it not your mates that are giving birth to 7 children? Guys, everybody has his own different journey. Bodies are
Hmm.
different, So, it's the same thing. So because of that, people hardly come out to say I'm struggling. People hardly come out to say I'm not coping very well. I mean, even if, like I said, from the point of even conception, you see some women going through some form of, depressive thoughts or
Mm-hmm.
moments, and they are not able to come to
Mm-hmm.
talk about it because another fellow woman will tell you, waiting, no be belle you
Are you the
get.
only one? Are you the first person to
Are you
give
the
birth?
only one?
You
Are
get
you the
to
only
give it
one?
since. you know,
Are you
you
the
know
only
when
one?
when
Yeah,
we talk about this the silence around maternal mental health, I feel that because a lot of people don't even know what it is, that's why they don't talk about it. Because I remember when I
yeah,
was growing up, my first encounter with postpartum depression or no, this was
depression.
postpartum psychosis, was a particular family member, an extended family member. She just gave birth to her child, and the next thing I heard, so Yoruba will say, "Eje tasilori," that this blood in the brain, it misfired or
Oh,
something. So she
okay.
had psychosis when she had a child,
Mm.
and they were like, "Oh, Eje tasilori, there's something wrong with her." That was my first
Oh,
encounter with
wow. Wow.
postpartum psychosis. I've never heard of it.
Wow.
As at then, I didn't even know it was postpartum psychosis. But going back
Yeah.
to school to do my clinical psychology work, that was where I got to know about
Yeah.
it. And apart from
Yeah.
postpartum psychosis, we also have postpartum depression and
Yeah.
all that. And
Depression.
because
Yeah.
people don't know about these things, they shy away from talking about them. And we're going to
Talking
go into
about
the
it. Yeah.
culture. Yes, we're going to go into the cultural factors. So the next question is, many women grow up hearing that a strong woman handles everything. In your
Mm.
own experience as a mental health advocate, how has this narrative affected the mental well-being of mothers? If you hear that, oh, culturally, you hear that, oh, as
Mm.
a Ijaw woman, you should be strong, or as a Delta woman,
Mm.
this is how we do it, or
Yeah.
as a Yoruba woman, this is how we do it. In your experience as a mental health advocate or a coach, emotional
Mm.
intelligence coach, how has this narrative affected the mental well-being of women?
Yeah. So sincerely, I want to say, coming from this part of the world that we are in, because we can't really run away from it,
Mm-hmm.
culture has really silenced a lot of women.
Hmm.
Culture has silenced a lot of women because in most of our society, in most of our, different states and tribes, culture, there's still, in fact, almost in every culture, there's always this particular stigma that is surrounding womanhood. Is it that the womanhood is not seen as being relevant, or she's supposed to be quiet? You are supposed to be seen and not heard. You are supposed to be in the farm. You are supposed to be under and not above. You are supposed to just follow quietly, don't make noise. If you make noise, it means that you are not submissive. You are not supposed to be loud. In fact, don't forget that it's not too long. We are still coming from the era of people still thinking that educating a woman is a waste of
Hmm.
money.
Hmm.
No, educating a woman
In
is a
some
waste of money.
culture,
Well, it's still not
in
far.
some
Yeah,
culture,
in some culture, yes, it's still not far. Some people are even still there. They feel that, oh, why should I educate my girl child? So our culture has, while it has its good parts, culture is good. But you see, when it has to do with womanhood, I feel like we need to evolve. We need to evolve by education. We need to evolve by advocacy. We need to begin to shed more light on the fact that, like you are saying, this psychosis now, a woman sees that, oh, I am not coping well. I mean, I'm beginning to see people like trees. I'm talking to myself. And people begin to brand you as someone that is
hmm,
just mad. You
and
understand? Instead
Angie
of
and all
instead of
that
sitting down to say, yes, instead of sitting down to say, but she was not like this before childbirth.
before.
Could
What
it be the
happened?
childbirth that is causing this? Yes, what happened? You know, can we take her to the hospital? Can we is there something that we can do instead of just branding her as someone that is weak? I've seen a case where a daughter will come, or a woman that will come out and say, oh, I need help, and she's been branded as weak.
Hmm.
Or so a woman coming out to say, oh, I am overwhelmed, and she's been branded as a failure,
Hmm.
like a total failure. So if I'm being told that I'm weak and I'm a failure, I won't come out again. I'll keep quiet. So culturally, we have been silenced as women, but we need to begin to voice it out. We need to begin to come out and begin to share this education. And guess what, coach? Let's not forget about statistically too. A lot of women have lost their lives
Extreme
because of this too.
childbearing. Yeah.
Yes, childbearing and even inability to cope. This postpartum depression that we are talking about. You understand? Maybe if you explain it, postpartum depression happens when you deliver after delivery. You just discover that there's this excessive and prolonged sadness. You are
Hmm.
not just happy. On a normal day, you're
Happy.
supposed to be happy seeing your child, and all that. But you just notice you're not happy. You're not happy breastfeeding your baby. You're not happy anybody around you. You're sad. The extreme case is a woman almost strangling her child because she feels that
Hmm.
this child is a disturbance. You're
Hmm.
disturbing me. I want my peace back. So these things are real, and it's okay. It's just like, like I always when I'm defining mental health, I say the same way it's okay when I come to you, coach, and I say I'm having malaria. What will you tell me? Oh, Pele, have you taken
Use
drugs?
paracetamol.
Go and see
I got to the
doctor. Go
hospital.
and
Yeah.
rest. Yes. But just imagine switch it and I come and I say, coach, I'm feeling sad. And my sadness has been for over 2 or 3 weeks. I'm feeling so overwhelmed, like my thoughts are not coordinated. The next thing you hear is that waiting, now you got to carry yourself. Are you not a strong woman?
Oh, African woman.
Are you not a strong woman? African woman and all that. Nobody
Hebrew
wants to
woman.
be
Yeah.
patient enough.
The church people say you're an Hebrew
Nobody wants to
woman.
be patient. The Hebrew woman. Okay, oh, thank
I
you.
remember when I was
So
working.
you
So
see,
I
so
remember when I was working in National Hospital. I did my internship in National Hospital, and this particular day, a woman came. They brought a woman with her family, her husband's, some male in her family, came with her, and you could see. In fact, the first thing I saw, I just knew that this woman was off, and they
wow.
gave her the baby to breastfeed, and she just, she was almost dropping the baby, and the man that brought her
Hmm.
was about to slap her. I was like, why would you do that?
Hmm.
You don't do that.
Yeah.
And I said, she's too
Yeah.
stubborn. Waiting, they do harm.
Hmm.
Waiting, now only she give birth.
Mm-mm.
And the guy was, I was like,
Ah.
no, you don't do that. That she's not feeling well. He said, no, what is wrong with her? She's too stubborn. So I had to take the woman into the
Mm-mm.
office. I I got her to sit down. And from
Hmm.
that, from what I witnessed, was I can imagine would
Yeah.
have been happening to the woman at home if the man
Yes.
was so
At
quick
home.
to raise his hand to wanting to beat her, even in public,
Mm.
And
Yeah.
that's why we need to do more of this enlightenment. We need to talk more. People need
Yeah.
to know more about what mental health, maternal mental health is, and how they can help
Mm.
women. So the next question
Yeah.
I want to ask is, what are these hidden struggles? What are some of these emotional struggles that women face, not just new mothers, but generally as a mother, as maybe,
Generally.
yes, generally, what are those hidden emotional
Mhm.
struggles that they face that people around them tend to overlook?
Okay. Okay. I love this question. I really love, because if we're able to understand this, I mean, it makes it clearer. It brings the message closer home.
Yeah.
And just as you were asking the question, I just thought about using myself as an example. Okay.
Mm, yeah.
So like I said, I have three girls, three children biologically. And I remember all of them have their different, stories. But the last one I had, I think she's 13 now. The last one I had, I was in a new environment. I had relocated to a new place. And in less than in about a year, I got pregnant and I had her. And that was my first encounter with PTSD. That's sorry, postpartum depression.
Postpartum
I didn't
depression.
even know postpartum depression. That was my first encounter with it, because I noticed that after delivery, I was just sad. Coach, it's
Hmm.
unexplainably sad. I will look at her. I am happy she's there, but on another thought, she was looking like a disturbance. She was looking like, oh, I'm already tired, and then I have to deal with you, and then I didn't understand what was happening to me, and I couldn't talk to anybody. I couldn't
Hmm.
talk to anybody. I felt maybe that was the moment I started feeling that maybe I was not a good mother. Maybe I know I didn't deserve her. So there was a lot of guilt. So these
Hmm.
are struggles. I'm not trying to explain. I
Hmm.
struggle with guilt that period. Every day was like hell. I thought I would never come out of it.
Were you
I thought I would
tired? Were you
never come out of it.
emotionally exhausted during that period?
I was emotionally exhausted because I had to deal with, okay, at that period I was even on maternity. So I couldn't even say I was doing that much because, my mom was with me. Coincidentally, my mom was with me. But then I don't know, it took so much. I felt like it was taking so much out of me. That was how I could describe it then. But now I
Hmm.
understand it better. But then it was like it took so much out of me, you know. I felt like my body was not the same again. And then I just lost any form of excitement. That excitement. You don't forget that I was coming from, I've had children before, so I know the
Children before.
excitement.
Yeah.
You want to clothe your baby. She was a baby girl. On a normal day, I had all my clothes. I would have started wearing her with pink ribbon, but all those things were not there. I was not interested in it. I was just the only thing that was just keeping me was, oh, breastfeeding. Oh, come and breastfeed her. She's crying. I'll just breastfeed her and hand her over to my mom and just sulk and just keep sulking, go to my room and sulk. And like I said, I didn't know what it was, so I couldn't even voice it. I couldn't even talk about it. And my mom too, she didn't understand what was happening, so she didn't even ask, what is wrong with you? So we're all living and surviving like that. So what am I bringing out? I'm bringing out some of the struggle I went through. That's guilt. One of the things one of the things motherhood, will face during this journey is guilt. You think you are not doing enough. You think you're not doing enough. You think that, oh, maybe, don't forget to, for maybe career women. Let's not forget
Hmm.
career women. That's
Yeah.
when some people will now start thinking, maybe I need to leave my job. Maybe
To
I'm
see
too, maybe I'm
children.
working too much. Yes, I need to face these children. But then you're also thinking about yourself. You're thinking, but should I sacrifice my career for these children? Should I continue? So there's a lot of guilt going on. There's a lot of guilt going on. Another thing, coach, I noticed that happened to me, which I know a woman can identify with here, is there's this thing that I call loss of identity.
Hmm.
Loss of identity. That
Yeah.
period, you are struggling with who you are. You are struggling with who you are. Aside the guilt, you are struggling, like I said, is a terrain, is a new thing that is happening to you. So you are struggling with the fact that can I do this? My life has changed. Your whole system has, apart from your system changing, you just discover your life changed, your sleeping pattern has changed. Sometimes for some people, eating pattern has changed.
Understand?
So
Yeah.
many things changes about you. You are now beginning to ask yourself, who am I? So if you don't have like a solid support around you that reminds you who you are, at that point is another good point for you to lose your identity. You don't even know who you are. That's why I see some people after marriage, they are haggard, they are not
Mm.
kept because they don't even know who. But you say, but this woman used to look good before giving birth to. But then after giving birth, she's on. Don't blame her. She's going through some crisis.
Mm.
She's going through some identity issues. She's trying to figure out who she is again. Who am I again? Am I a wife? Am I a mother? Am I a career woman? Am I a daughter? Am I a friend? Am I, so many roles at the same time, and you're just wondering, who am I? Who am I? Yeah, so it took time for me, really. That identity thing for me was key. I didn't know who I was again. I was just living life, living life, living life. It took a lot of time after then and a lot of reading of books, seeking knowledge, asking myself, talking to myself, supporting partner and family that helped me. And I was able to gain myself. Finally, when it comes to struggle, another thing that came strongly to me just now is, let's talk about the struggle that happens to you internally,
Mm.
hormonal and biological. Let me tell you a story. Before this, my third child I was telling you about, I used to be one that can eat ice block. I can eat ice block. I love cold things. I love cold
Wow.
things. But do you know that after I gave birth to her, I was asking my husband, I said, though my husband wasn't in the theater room, but I was asking, I said, are you sure? Maybe did they tamper with my inside?
Hmm.
Because after my childbirth, I now hated anything cold.
Hmm.
Anything cold. If I as well taste anything cold, my nose will block. Everything. I have nasal blockage. I went through hell after that, my child baby, and my third child. My whole system went upside down, coach. I could have blockage, nose blockage for like 3 months stretch. I tried everything, used everything. I was so uncomfortable. So you see, so these are some of the struggles too. Your body changes, hormone changes, biologically you changes. Some people gain weight, some people lose weight, some people lose their hair. So many things can happen to you too at that moment that is related to biology. Biologically, it changes, or then also hormonal. There are some hormonal changes. You understand?
Okay, thank you
So
so
those are the
much.
things that happen to me that I can relate with, and I'm using that
Mm.
as an
I
example.
like the fact that you are personalizing the questions. You're using your own example. Funny enough, when I sent this message to you, I never knew you've gone through something like this. I was like, my mind just went to you. I was like, oh, let me ask her to be one of our facilitator. So when you are now talking about, oh, you've actually gone through maternal mental challenges, I was like, oh my
Yeah,
goodness. So I was like, oh, God
yeah,
really knew that I needed to call you
yeah,
because since you
yeah,
have that experience, wow. So the next
yeah,
question I would like to ask is, what are the warning signs that a mother might know that, oh, she's struggling mentally? What are the warning
yeah.
signs? Because mental health doesn't just happen, mental health challenges doesn't just happen all of a sudden. There might be some things that
Mm,
might have been happening gradually,
yeah,
and because the person has not been able to take care of himself or
yeah.
take care of herself, it now comes
Mm,
as a challenge. So, what are those subtle signs, or what are those signs that a mother might notice to know that, oh, she's struggling mentally?
yeah. Okay, thank you so much. So I think this question is also very valid. I just pray that this video will go viral so that a lot of people will really listen to
For
it
those
and help
watching, you
themselves.
could
And
also share the video with your friends so that they could actually join,
yeah,
because a lot of
yeah,
women
yeah.
need to listen to this.
Yes, yes, they do. They do, because sometimes you might think that, oh, this is not for me, but it could be for somebody, a family member, friend, colleague, or something. Because, like you said, this mental health thing, disorder and issues is not written on the forehead. Most times they are silent struggles. They are silent struggles, and that's why we are talking about it, so that even though you are struggling silently, you can now begin to realize it and bring it out to the surface so that you can find help. Okay, because at the end of the day, nobody, this mental health, let me just swap now to broken English. This mental health issue, you know help anybody, last, coach, sincerely, you know help anybody. I used to tell people that, see, sometimes if you think that suppressing this mental health issue is helping you, you don't know what you are doing. It is going to your system and causing havoc to your system. If you don't work on it and you suppress it, it goes into your system. Have you wondered why a woman will just wake up after giving birth to children and all that, all of a sudden they'll tell her that you have a kidney problem, cancer, all those things? You're asking yourself, from where? Sometimes because of the emotional things that you have been suppressing, because you've not been able to express it, it goes into your system and tampers with your organs. But let's leave that aside. We're talking about maternal mental health. What are some of the signs? And I'm also using myself too as an example. One major sign that you can't miss, if after this, I mean, after this video, one major sign you cannot miss, both for yourself and in another person you see, is you will see irritability. You will notice someone is just easily irritated. Everything irritates you. Remember, we're talking about maternal, so we're talking about
Yeah.
childbirth, after childbirth. Everything irritates you. They bring the baby to you, you are irritated. Go and bath, you are irritated. Come and eat, you are irritated. Please, 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 everything. So when you see a woman at that stage, please take a second to really talk to her again. Don't just shove it aside and say, this person, like you say, somebody say, you're not even grateful, you're not even thankful, or you're stubborn, and things like that. That irritability, you can't miss it if you are really, if you are really keen and observant. You understand? That's one of the early signs. Once you see a new mother being irritated easily, she's just showing signs of irritability, please take a second and watch her. Take a second and talk to her. Be more kind and compassionate to her. You understand? Then the second thing that comes to me closely now is sadness. We call it depression, but we can't say depression until you are diagnosed.
Yes.
So, but
Clinically
we
diagnosed. Yeah.
can we can go, yes, until we really diagnose it that this is depression. But then let's just say sadness that is prolonged. You know, you just notice a new mother is sad, excessively sad for too long. If you are sad for 24 hours because there's no money for pampers, is understandable. But then you notice that this new mother, she's sad for over 2 weeks, is another sign, both for yourself, if you are the new mother, or in another person. You just notice that you've lost your joy. You're not just happy. There's nothing that gives you joy for 1 week, 5 days, 7 days, 10 days. This sense of sadness overwhelms you all the time. That is a sign. That is a major sign you shouldn't run away from. You understand? And then that will also lead you to disconnection. At that moment, like I was telling you my story, most times, because my mom was around, I'll just hand over the child to my mom. I'll go to my room. Ask me what am I doing in my room. As if I'm even watching TV. I'm not watching TV. I'm just sitting down. I'm just sitting down. I can't remember what I was thinking about then, but I knew that I didn't even want to be around people. I didn't want people around. Don't come and visit me. What are you coming? I don't even like, oh, somebody has come to visit you. It's like you're disturbing me. You understand? So you see disconnection. You see that, oh, you don't even want to relate with people again. You don't. And then especially this one can come very strong if that person in question was a bubbling person before. Maybe you know this person as a bubbling person, he always with people, likes people, and all of a sudden you start noticing that this person is withdrawing, doesn't like people again. All these things are major, major signs. They are major signs, you understand? And then, of course, and you see this thing can begin to cascade if they are not closely watched, from being irritated, it begins to you begin to slide into mild depression, major depression, disconnection from people. And then there's this also, you get to that point where, let's not forget, some people get to the point where they begin to have suicidal thoughts,
Hmm.
or self-harm. I know of a woman that after she delivered, coach, what happened to her? How I knew that she wasn't okay was the fact that she was deliberately not eating.
Hmm.
She refused to eat. And I'm like, okay, take this one. No. Take pap. No. Take rice. No. And I watched her and I said, are you sure you are not being deliberate? Are you sure you are not deliberate? Because if you don't eat, this child will not eat. So it's not normal for you not to want to eat after giving birth. So why are you starving yourself? That's where the conversation started. And we started talking. That's when I discovered that, of course, she was having some emotional issues and she didn't even know she was starving herself. So we got to talk, counseling came in and all that and all that. So you see, so these are some of the signs that that comes to me just readily now. But there are things that you can't miss, really. These things I've mentioned now, you can't really miss them. Tiredness, a woman is excessively tired all the time and she's losing appetite. She doesn't like to eat and all that. So these are all the early signs that we can see, and we can start to want to take action immediately.
What about sleeping? Change in sleep pattern.
Yeah,
Is that also,
yeah,
yeah?
sleeplessness. It is. It is. Even though, those ones too are sometimes it can be medically induced, but I mean medically induced. But then, some people will say, I used to hear this story. Even me, coach, let me not lie, I used to say it before. But then when I gained knowledge, I stopped saying it. For new mothers, you know what I used to say sometimes? I'll say, welcome to the world where you will never sleep again.
Ah.
I used to say that, but I now started to correct myself. I said, no, it's not right. Don't sell the idea that if a new mother sleeps, she's a bad mother.
Mm.
So you're not making it feel that, oh, you wanting to rest, you wanting to sleep is like you being bad. Like, you shouldn't be sleeping now. Why should you be sleeping? So these days, I encourage new mothers. I say, sleep. When your baby is sleeping, sleep. When someone is taking care of your baby, sleep, because you
Sleep.
need the sleep.
Yes. You need to sleep.
Yes,
Yeah.
you need the sleep. You need the sleep. And then, of
Sleep
course,
is very
when you now
important.
notice that, yes, when you notice that the sleep is not coming, like you're having sleeplessness, insomnia, so we
Insomnia.
know that,
Yeah.
okay, these are also some signs that we can look at or can be looked at. Don't hide it. Don't pretend you are sleeping and you're not sleeping. Some people pretend they are sleeping and they are not sleeping.
Yeah.
If
Absolutely.
you are
Yeah.
not sleeping, if you are not sleeping, you are not sleeping. Please talk about it. Mention it. I've noticed that for 2 days, I've not slept for 1 hour. It's a problem. Talk about it. You understand? Talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for this. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for this. So the next question I want
Yeah.
to ask is this: now that you've said that, you've given us the signs, you've given us what parents need to watch out for, what mothers need to watch out for. But the question now is that what is the role of the partners or family members or community in protecting the mental health of women? Because yes, the woman has given birth, the woman is one running around for the child, taking care of the child, and bathing the child, especially for one that does not even have that supportive external family.
Yeah.
But what is the role of the partner, like the husband? What is the role of the husband? What is even the role of the community? So, for example, you are in a church now, you are the pastor's wife of a
Mm.
church. So, what is your role? I'm throwing it back to you. What is your role? Because you are in the community and you're a leader in the community.
Yeah,
What is your role
yeah.
in supporting or protecting the mental health of women around you?
Mm. Yeah. So I think to answer that, I want to start from the angle of, as advocates, we always advocate be kind, compassion. Let's be kind to ourselves. Let's be kind to people. And once a woman goes through that journey and she's able to pop a child out, the first thing everybody should show her is kindness. Is
Kindness.
kindness. And for every woman here, I want you to know that you deserve kindness. You deserve kindness. And if you're not getting the kindness, I feel for you. I feel for you. People should be kind to you. People should show you, there should be support around you at that period. I mean, coach, you know that things have changed now. Before,
Yes.
what I used to know is once a woman is even giving birth, in the process of giving birth or before she gives birth, there's so many people rallying around her, helping her get things ready. The moment she gives birth, mother-in-laws are there, mothers are there, families are there, partner is also there doing his own and all that. But now everybody is busy, everybody
Busy.
is pursuing his or her own agenda. Most times you see a woman giving birth and there's nobody with her. She's the
Hmm.
one that will have to carry bucket and go and fetch water. She will bathe the
Wow.
child. She will try to cook the food she will eat. And then in extreme cases, we even have mothers that will now have to also feed the family, including the
Hmm.
husband.
Hmm.
You understand? Even from day one of giving birth, and that's why I'm happy with the topic you say. Please, it's not a sign of strong woman. Please, it's not a sign of strong woman that you are able to wake up and you are able to turn amala and first day
Hmm.
of giving birth, you say I'm strong. It is not the sign of. It's not a
It's
sign of
not
strong woman.
so. It's not
It's
so.
not a sign of
Hey.
strong woman. We are not saying you
No.
should be lazy. We are not saying you should be lazy, but if there's somebody that can do it for you, please allow the person to do it for you. If there's an alternative, please choose option B.
Hmm.
Option B. Instead of there's nowhere you will go to and then they will tell you, oh, immediately you give birth, go and be suffering yourself. Even the doctors will tell you rest.
Hmm.
The doctors will tell you rest. You need to rest. So partners need to support. You can't um overflog that point. Coach, do you know that
Point.
before just coming here, I went to Facebook and I stumbled on a story, a
Hmm.
gory story. Sorry,
I
I need
read.
to
I heard
let
it
me
too.
share the story.
I think. Please. I think I read. I read it. I read it to the girl that
Is
died.
it that
Right.
CS one? The CS.
I think so. So
After
sad.
CS, she had a CS. She had 5 children in 4 years. And then I don't know if all the children were CS. I think, but the last one was a CS. When she went back home, her husband was still demanding. Her husband was demanding
Sex.
sex from her. He was demanding work from her and all that. And she wanted to protect the home and all that. She didn't, the issue is, I'm not even against the fact she wanted to protect her home. I mean, every woman should protect her home. But
Mm-hmm.
why didn't she talk? Why didn't she tell her sister? Or why didn't she
Hmm.
tell her mom that, oh, look at what I'm going through? They will have advised her, but she kept quiet.
Wow.
And that's what we are against. Don't keep quiet. We're not saying break your home. We're not saying leave your home.
Yeah.
But let someone know. Let a family member know that this is what I'm going through. But because, oh, I want to protect my home, she kept giving in to the man. After CS,
Hmm.
immediately after CS,
Hmm.
yeah,
The
and
man is
that's
a
how she
wicked
lost
man.
her life. So, yeah,
Man is a
partners need
wicked
to
man.
need
So
to
I
be
just had
supportive.
us,
Seriously,
the partners need to be very supportive. Why would you want to have sex with your
yes,
wife immediately after she had a CS? That's not kind.
yes,
And you're talking about somebody being kind. That person wasn't kind at all. That's not
at
being
all,
kind.
at all. So
That's not being
beyond it
kind.
not being kind, as women, we must learn to speak out, speak up, speak up. Thankfully, she even had a sister that was listening to her all the way. Why didn't you tell your sister? Or why didn't you tell your mom? So Our partners need to be kind. Family members need to be supportive. You mentioned community. Community need to
Yes.
play a very big role. So, like in my church, what we do, of course, now, if a woman gives birth, they will say it's the role of the pastor's wife. You have to go and visit her. You have to make sure women go and visit her.
Mm-hmm.
We try to do that to the best of our ability, because we also have our work we are doing. But I mean, it's not too much if your church member gives birth, and then even if you can't go and visit her, if you can't go, at least assign people, call
Mm.
people. Oh, you go and visit Lagbaja today. Okay, you do pepper soup and go and give. Okay, you go and stay with her all day. You at least for that first week. That first week normally
That
is our
support
practice.
very
Yeah,
important.
that first week we try to surround her until a support comes. Maybe her mother comes, or mother-in-law comes, or something. And here we can now say, okay, but if there's nobody with her, we can't leave her. We can't leave her. We have to surround her somehow. So you see these three things: partners, family, and the community. We all have a role to play in helping women, especially mothers, and helping this maternal health we are talking about. We all have a role to play: partners, family members, and the community include, like you say, churches. You belong to any, and that's why it's good here. Let me just quickly point it that as a woman, try to belong to a community, at least a healthy community.
Very
It can be a
important.
community of, yes, it can be a community of professionals, a community of mothers, community of a place where you are known, a place where at least 5, 6 people know you. So if you need that kind of help, people can rally around and say, oh, sister so, and that is in our group now. That woman that is in our group, she just gave birth. Let's quickly go and see her. No, we all need that. But if you don't belong to any community and it's just you, me, myself, and I, it's not okay. Not okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You've said a
Yeah.
whole lot. Oh my goodness. You've mentioned a whole lot. That's good support, being kind, being our sisters' keepers. Very, very important. Let's
Yeah.
not just see our sisters, and even if she's not just having a child, even if she's had a child since, the fact that she's a
Yeah.
mother. And one of the things I also love doing when my children were in primary school, I used to do a lot of carpooling.
Mm.
When I see a mother that is working
Oh,
and
wow.
lives around my
Yeah.
area, I would ask, do you want me to help you drop your child off? Because I
Wow.
know what it
Wow.
means to be working and doing school runs. It can be very, very,
Yeah.
hectic. And that was
Wow.
one thing I used to do. I
Wow.
used to help a lot of parents to drop their children off at
Mm.
home, doing, carpooling and all that. So if you're in
Yeah.
society, if you have women around you that are struggling, please, it's very important that you step up and you help them. We're almost rounding
Yeah.
up. I'll just ask the last question, then
Mm.
we close. So the last question is, what are the simple but realistic ways mothers can begin to nurture their own mental health even when they are busy, even when they have a busy schedule? Now, I want us to be practical. What are the practical
Yeah.
things women can do to nurture their own mental health? We cannot say we're going to wait for our family members. We cannot say we're going to wait for our spouses. What can you do in your own little corner
Mm.
to nurture your own mental health? That will be the last question.
Mm.
Then, if you have questions, yeah, for those of you watching, if you have questions, please just drop your questions. Then our guest speaker would attend to them. So let's go. What are the things we can do?
Right. Okay.
Hmm.
So I think what I would say here, I like the fact that I say let's make it practical, okay? There's this thing that just came to my mind now. In one of my flyers I normally would say, um taking care of your mental health is not luxury. It's no longer luxury.
Hmm.
It's a priority.
Hmm.
You know, some people hear self-care and the first thing that comes to their mind is, oh, spa.
Hello? Okay, it seems I can't hear her again. If you can hear me, for those of us in the online, if you can hear me, please just say hello. You can hear me, because it seems we can't hear our guests again. If you can hear me, let me know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, please let me know you can hear me. It seems we can't hear our guest again. Hello. If you can hear me, please let me know you can hear me. So our guest said that taking care of your own mental health. Okay, so I guess we're going to get her back. Okay, thank you so much, the light teens. Thank you so much, Faith, for letting me know. So the last thing our guest speaker said, the question I asked is we wanted practical steps in how parents, mothers can take care of their mental health. And the first thing she said is self care is not a luxury, self care is a priority. So if you're a mother there and you are wondering how can you take care of yourself, I will give a few tips while we wait for her. We have just 4 minutes. So the first thing is that you need to do is you need to prioritize yourself. Give yourself permission to take care of yourself. Every small thing you do matters a lot. Take time to pause. Take time to do deep breathing. Take time to do your journaling, your meditation. These are things that would help you. Allocate time for rest. One of the things whenever I do my mental health trainings for parents or for when I go to organizations, I tell them that self care is important, and I have an acronym for self care. S stands for self awareness. You need to be aware of your strengths. You need to be aware of your treasure, your stress threshold. That is very important. The next is the E, and E stands for you knowing your emotional triggers. What are the things that get you irritated? What are the things that get you irate? What are the things that get you upset is very, very important. L stands for you limiting negative your exposure to negative things. Avoid exposing yourself to negative things. It's important that you focus on positivity, not negativity. This is one way of you taking care of your mental health. F is you need to find a hobby. Find things that are fun that you can do for yourself once in a week. Do something fun for yourself. Don't wait. Don't wait. Do something fun for yourself. Don't wait for your husband to come and carry you and take you to the restaurant for lunch. Do something fun for yourself. Now, C stands for you connecting. You need to learn to connect with other mothers. If you have mothers in the school, connect with other mothers. Very important. Connect with other women. Connect with people that can help you. Don't live your life as an island. There are other people around you that can help you. So connect with them. While A stands for you asking for help. Always ask for help. Don't think you can do it alone. As a mother, to protect your mental health, you need to learn to ask for help. You can't do it alone. A stands for ask for help. Then we have R. R means you need to rest. And what is resting? You need to sleep, you need to relax, you need to, you just need to relax, you need to rest. You can't do everything alone. And the final E, so you have R, then the final E stands for you eating right and exercising well. You need to eat right. You need to exercise. One of the things I tell the people I work with, I use SEE. If you sleep well, if you eat right, if you exercise well, it will help you. It will help your mental health. So please, mothers, you are not let's not look at ourselves as strong women. You are strong when you can also ask for help. If you are the only one carrying everybody, you are carrying the load of everybody, it will affect you. So please, when you ask for help, it does not make you weak. A strong woman is that woman that knows her strength, that woman that is aware of her strength, that woman that is aware of her stress threshold, that woman that is aware of herself. That is when you call you a strong woman. You are not a strong woman when you carry all the responsibilities of other people and you do not take care of yourself. We'll be stopping here for today. I want to say thank you so much to everyone who has joined in. I want to say thank you. I really appreciate you. I don't know what happened to our guest speaker. Okay, she's here. Okay. I don't know what happened to our guest speaker, but I guess it was her network. But she has spoken a whole lot. And I love the fact that she used her own life experience as our a teaching example, as a case study. So for those of us that are still here, please let's hail our guest speaker. Let's say thank you to her. I can see her somewhere. She's trying to come back on. Oh, okay, come. I can see you. Let's say thank you to her. Somebody has a question here. Oh, if you can still come back on, we have a question here. The person says, how can we balance faith? Okay, can you hear me? There's an echo
I can
there.
hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Great. So we have a question. So while answering
Okay.
that question, you could also just round up what you were about saying. Can you see the question on the board? It says,
Okay.
how can we balance mental
Yeah, I
health
said,
and
how can
faith?
we balance faith and mental health? Because some people of faith stigmatize mental health talk. Okay. I think the balance is in just practicing what practicing what you know, and like we said, keep let's form a community. Let's keep spreading the knowledge. Let's keep spreading the what we are learning here. Let's keep talking about it. I feel it's even better than before. Now, even in some of these faith churches, we see some of these pastors talking about it. Even on the pulpit, they talk about mental health issues. They bring professionals. So it's getting better because we are all talking about it. We have people like Coach Tony talking about it, advocating for it. So what my own suggestion, I don't know, maybe Coach will add one or two things to it, is let's keep talking about it. Let's keep doing our bit, to come together as women, in a community. Let them know what we are going through. Let people know that we are not silent about these things. We need help here. We need people to understand us here. The more we talk about it, the more it goes into their ears, and then the balance begins to come in. Okay, that's what I can say about. I want Coach to also add one or two things to that. But before my network threw me out, I was trying to talk about some mini practical things that we can do to help us, as mothers, in our mental health. And I call it micro self-care. It's something I've been talking about, and in my clients, I share it with them and all that. I call it micro self-care. Self-care is not luxury. Self-care is important. It's priority. You have to take care of yourself. I always use this example of, if you're a mother, you have children you need to take care of, right? But if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of them. When we enter aircraft, what did they tell us? They say, well, in case of any emergency, protect yourself first before you
First.
protect any other person. So as a mother, you must protect yourself first. And I call it micro self-care. What are those micro self-care? Think about some of those things that you truly, truly like as a woman. Some of those hobbies that you like as a woman. Some of us are so lost in the world of what's booting again.
I can hear you. I can see you.
Okay, are you hearing me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, yes.
Okay. So I was saying that some of us are still lost. We are so lost in the world of children. We no longer have hobbies. What are your hobbies? Drawing, riding bicycle, taking a walk, hiking. There are some hobbies that you like. Please go back to them. Even if it is once a week, commit to doing them. These are self-care things. Commit to doing them. Learn to detox. As a mother, you must learn to detox. Whatever it is that will make you detox. There's no time for me to start explaining detoxing, but some people use like leaves to detox. Some people go on like a fast to detox. But you see, sometimes you are tired because of so many things that are going on inside you, not just mentally. So you must learn to detox, sometimes from food, sometimes from social media, sometimes from so many things that you are doing. So maybe from there you can bring, some relaxation thing, breathing exercises, hanging out with friends. Even if it is once a week, I'm begging us, once a week or once in 2 weeks, find somewhere you go to relax, to hang out. Call one of your friends. Abeg, can we just go and take suya outside? Can we just go and take fish outside? Can you go and buy ice cream for me? Go outside. Don't be always locked inside. Don't be always locked inside. Go outside, take fresh air, take walks in the morning, go back to your hobbies, belong to a community. And journaling is very key. All these are practical self-care. Journaling, I've seen mothers that I have recommended journaling to, they do very well. Coach, they do very well. In fact, one of them, from that journaling, she says she's going to make it into a book, and I'm encouraging her. I say, make the book, sell it and make money. So from your journaling, your experience in motherhood, you are putting it down, it helps you. It's another way of self-care. Okay, so all these things can really, don't forget sleep. We've mentioned sleep too. Not just sleeping, I mean real sleep, not pretending to sleep, but real deep sleep. And all these things can help you. I've mentioned so many things. I hope you've been able to take one or two things down, but they are practical, I'm sure, to help you.
Very, very practical. Very, very, very practical. Funny enough, before
Yeah.
you came on, there's this self care acronym I use to whenever I have my coaching or whenever I do my therapy session. And I actually spoken about it, about the self awareness, um, your emotion, identifying your emotional trigger, limiting your exposure to negative things, finding a hobby. When you mentioned hobby, I just smiled. I said, yes, hobby comes here.
Yeah.
Finding a hobby. I also spoke about connecting with other people. Don't isolate yourself. I also spoke about asking for help. You're not an island. You need help. You need other people that can help you. Then I spoke about relaxation. Relaxation, taking a walk, sleeping well, and all that. Then
Yeah.
I finally spoke
Yeah.
about eating right and also exercising.
Yeah.
These are things we need to, and there are also practical steps. The same thing you spoke about, simple practical steps that we can do to maintain our mental health. Thank you so much. So let me just talk about the last question that was asked about how can we balance faith and mental health. The first
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
is the education. The more we talk about mental health, the more we, and one thing is that people, when you talk about mental health, what comes to people's mind is mental disorder. And unknown to them, mental health is
Mm.
actually on a spectrum. For the fact that you have a brain, we all
Yeah.
have mental health. Everyone that has a brain
Mhm.
has a mental health. And mental health is different from mental disorder. Mental health starts from you
Yeah.
thriving, no, you are thriving, everything is going on well, we say you have excellent mental health. Is when things are not going on well, that's when it deteriorates to a mental challenge or a mental disorder. And that's why we keep talking about what can you do to promote that excellent mental health. The more you know about what you
Mm.
can do, the better it would help you. Even in the Bible, we had some people that had mental health issues, that had depression and all that. And we will not say that if someone has a mental health issue, the person is weak spiritually. No. For the fact the person has a brain, anybody can have a
Yeah.
mental challenge. And there are also some predisposing factors that can let one to have a mental challenge. Number one, if the person is, if it's in your gene, if there are people in your family that have a mental disorder, if you don't take care of yourself, there is every likelihood that the person might have a mental challenge. And that's why I say we need to keep talking about it. When people know more about what mental health is and what mental challenges are and what can cause mental challenges, they'll have to start taking care of their health. And the good thing about spirituality is that faith is one of the cornerstone of mental health. Because people that believe in a
Yeah.
higher power, people that believe in God, they are able to protect
They do well.
themselves. Yes, they do well. Even if they have a mental challenge, they heal faster and they heal better because they have their hope
Mm.
placed in a higher power. So it's important that we do not confuse your mental health and a mental challenge. Mental health is you having excellent health. And when we talk about physical health, we cannot talk about health without mental health. So you cannot be physically
Yeah.
okay, mentally sick, and people will say you are healthy. No. For you to be
Yeah.
physically, for you to be healthy, you have to be physically well and you have to be mentally well. So thank you so
So
much. Normally I take 45 minutes to 1 hour having these sessions every, but it's actually bi-monthly, so twice every month. So, and we've done so. The next one is going to be at the end of the month. So I just want to say thank you so much. You've spoken a whole lot about maternal mental health and how we can protect ourselves. The next session is going to be about how we can protect our daughter's mental health. And we're going to have another facilitator that will be joining me for this discussion. Thank you so much, Mark. God bless you. And for everyone who's joined, thank you so much. We'll be having another session at the end of the month, and we're going to talk about how we can protect our daughter's mental health. Have a nice day, everyone. Have a nice evening. See you in 2 weeks' time. Bye.